Hi guys, welcome back to session 5 of our 6-week Pilates program. Today we're just going to focus on having a nice little stretch, so we're going to work through some mobility exercises and some nice stretches as well. So nice chilled session for today. Alright, let's take ourselves to our mats. We're just going to start off with a few roll downs just to mobilise through that spine. So bringing the chin to the chest, around the shoulders, reaching down for those toes. Once you get as far as you can, just let the arms hang, let the head be heavy, and then just turning the head left to right, and then to the chest, and back up again. So you're just nodding the head and shaking the head nice and gently, just to mobilise through the neck. And then keep the chin into the chest, nice and slowly, rolling it back up to the top. And the head's the last thing to come back up, and just round those shoulders back. And we'll go again, nice and slowly, rolling it down. Once you get as far as you can, just hold it there, allow the shoulders to be heavy and the head. And now you're just going to gently swing the arms side to side, just to loosen up through there. And then slowly roll that back up to the top again, rounding those shoulders back at the top. And then we're going to go one more time, chin to chest, far as you can, and just hold it there. Feel that stretch down the back of the legs, keeping that chin tucked in to the chest, and then slowly rolling it back up to the top again, rounding those shoulders back at the top. And then if you just link those fingers together behind the back, stretching out through that chest, keeping that chin up on the shelf. Hold it there. And then you're rounding the shoulders, bringing the chin down to the chest, stretching through the back. And relax the arms there. Okay, now we're going to roll it down onto the floor. So bringing that chin to the chest, around the shoulders, nice and slowly reaching down towards the toes. If you need to bend the knees to bring the hands to the floor, you can. Just walking out into that all fours position. And then from here, we're rocking back into child's pose, and then coming back forwards, bringing those hips down towards the floor and back again. So sitting into child's pose, and then bringing it through into that cobra. If you don't want to come down into the cobra, you can just sit back onto the heels and then just bring it back into that all fours position. So whichever is more comfortable for you. And last one. And then from there, we're going to now bring it down onto the front, and you're just going to bring the hands round in front of you just to relax your head on to the hands, and you're just going to curl one heel in towards the glute, back down again, and the same on the other side. So as you curl that heel in towards the glute, just make sure that hip isn't lifting off the floor. So if you feel that hip starting to lift, then just don't bring that heel as close to the glutes as you are. It will just mean that there's some tightness through that hip and the quads. So you can always place your hands onto the hips just to make sure those hips are not lifting off the floor. And with this one, if you feel it pinching in the lower back at all, again, just make sure you're not forcing the heel right up towards the glute. So it should just be a nice gentle stretch through the hip and the quad. So just keeping it nice and gentle, mobilising through the knee at the same time. With all of these stretching and mobility exercises, you can work through these on a daily basis. So just keep it nice and controlled. The last one. And then if you can grab your left ankle and just bring it in towards the glutes. If you struggle to reach the ankle, you can always just tug on a sock or a piece of clothing to help bring that heel towards the glutes. Or if you've got a towel or a band, wrap that around your ankle just to assist with that stretch. So from here, you really want to drive those hips down into the floor just to increase that stretch. And just hold it here. Keep driving those hips into the mat. And relax it there, switch it over, same on the right side, bringing that heel in towards the glutes, pushing those hips down into the mat, hold it there just to feel that stretch. And relax it there. It's okay. Next one, we're going to mobilise through the hip. So if you bend the left knee, from here you're just going to allow the foot to drop away from the body and back in to the centre again. So dropping that heel away and back again. Just make sure as you drop that heel out that you're not twisting those hips off the floor, so you're in control of bringing that foot away from the body and back again. So again, just keep it nice, slow and controlled. I'll put a timer on it as well, so just keep working through that movement. So that's a nice relaxing session today, just working on stretching and mobilising everything out. As it's important to make sure we do these rest and recovery sessions in between Pilates and other training schedules that we may have, just to allow the body to recover. Relax it there. Now we're going to bring the heel across the body now. So rather than dropping the leg out, you're going to bring it across the body and back in to the middle. But remember with this one, as you bring the leg across, try not to let that hip come off the floor. So keep your hands on the hips if it helps, bringing it across to where you can and back again. Now with this one, a lot of people do struggle with tightness through the hip, so don't worry if you find that there's hardly any movement. You might find that you've got more movement through one way than you have the other, but don't force it through, just keep it nice and gentle. The more you work with this, the more range of motion you'll get through the hips. So don't worry if you find that the leg isn't really moving much at all. Just keep sticking with those small movements. And relax that leg down. And then we'll repeat the same on the right leg. So we're dropping the leg, make sure I've got enough room. We're dropping the leg away from the body, back in to the middle again, keeping those hips fixed down towards the floor. So just relax that upper body, working through those hips, keeping the pelvis down on the floor, no rocking motion, so try and keep it as smooth as you can. last one. And then we change direction, so now bringing that leg across the body and back into the middle again. So bringing it across and back again. Try not to rock up as you go, so you can hold your hand down onto that hip just to make sure it's not lifting off the floor. Again, don't worry if there's not much movement with myself. My right side is much tighter than my left, so with this movement coming across, there's a lot less range in my hip through that direction. Good, and last one. And relax it there. Now we're bringing both legs up, bending both knees. We're just crisscrossing over and dropping them out again. So crisscross and back. You can work through this a little bit quicker with this one, but just try to make sure we're not rocking all over the place. So cross over, drop out, cross over, drop out. So it's a nice mobility exercise through the hips. Good, keep working through there. And relax there, good, and just lower the feet down to the floor. Now if you can push yourself up, and we're going to turn around onto the back now. So bringing it on to the back, if you hug the left knee in towards the chest, all we're going to do is kick the leg up towards the ceiling, so you're holding the back of the leg onto the hamstring. As you kick up, flex the foot so you can feel it really stretching through the hamstring into the calf, bending the knee again and repeating the same again. So don't try and force it through as much as you can. Keep it nice and gentle. Make sure your hips and the rest of your body are staying on the floor, so you don't want to compensate. And with your right leg, you can keep it bent as I have in this position, or if you're comfortable to extend it out straight, you can do so. So really feel that stretch as you kick up towards the ceiling and back down again. Good, 2 more on this one. Relax it there, and then hug the other knee into the chest now, so hugging the right knee in to the chest, kicking up and back down again. So flex that foot at the top of the movement and back down. We've got 3 more. And last one. And relax it there, good. Okay, if you bend the left knee now, extending the right leg out straight, placing the hands onto the hips, you're just going to allow the knee to drop out to the side, away from the body, and back in to the middle again, just gently dropping it out, making sure as you drop out you're not rocking those hips off the floor. That's why you can keep your hands on the hips to make sure that hip doesn't rock off the floor. So as you drop that knee out to the side, the sole of your foot will lift up off the floor, take it to where you can and back again. keep it going. Two more. And last one. And then extend that leg out straight, bending the right knee, dropping out to the side. Feel that stretch and back into the middle again. So allow the foot, the sole of the foot to come off the floor and back again. Keeping those hands on the hips. We've got 3 more here. And last one. And relax it there. Good. Now if you bend both knees, you're going to bring the feet off the floor, bringing your hands towards the ankles, just hugging the knees in towards you, but the knees are sticking out. Push your elbows against the knees just to feel that stretch. I'll show you from this side so you can see. So holding on to those ankles, feet together, pushing the knees out to the side, just to feel that stretch through the hips. If you struggle a bit with this one, you can bring the feet down to the floor and just allow the knees to drop out to the side like so. Keeping the feet on the floor, just allowing the knees to drop out that way if that's more comfortable. And relax it there. After you extend the right leg out straight, hug that left knee in towards the chest to stretch through that glute. Just hold it there. And switch over, same on the other side. So just really relax into these stretches. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth just to really relax into the stretch. And release that there, keeping the right knee bent. You're now going to bring the left ankle across that right knee, pushing that knee out just to feel that stretch again through the glute. If you want to increase this stretch, if you can lift that right leg off the floor, hugging the hands onto the hamstring, relaxing the head down onto the floor. But only work through this stretch if you're not straining. You don't want to be straining up off the floor. You want to be able to relax your head and shoulders down onto the floor. So if you're more comfortable keeping that foot down on the floor, then that's absolutely fine. Just hold it there. And change it over, same on the other side. Now bring that right leg across that left knee. Hold it there to feel that stretch. Again, if you want to increase that, you can lift that left foot off the floor and hug the knee into the chest, or you can just hold it comfortably in this position. And relax it there. And now just hug both knees into the chest, just gently rocking the knees in and out, so we're not lifting too far, just small movements. and you can go clockwise and anti-clockwise, just rocking it round. Just release off that lower back. And then bringing the feet back down to the floor. If you bring the arms out to the side to that 90 degrees, and you're just going to allow the knees to drop across to one side, look in the opposite direction, just hold it there, just to feel that stretch. And then use your core to pull the knees up, back across in the other direction, look in the opposite way. And again, back over to the other side. And back across. And again, we're going to do one more on each side. And last one, bringing the knees back across, looking in the opposite direction. And back in to the middle. Good. And now if you lengthen through the legs, just to lengthen through those hips, we're just going to float the arms up above the head to mobilise through the shoulders and stretch through that chest at the same time, and through the shoulders, and back down again. So you're just gently floating the arms up above the head and then back down to the floor again. So just relax and take a nice deep breath in through the nose as you bring the arms up, and exhale on the way down. And last one. Relax there, good. And this time you're bringing the hands up towards the ceiling, allowing the arms to drop out to the sides and back again, just to get a nice stretch again through that chest. Keep it going. Three more here. Two more. And last one. Relax the arms back down to the side. If you turn it on to your side, we're going to bring it back round on to the front now, and bringing the knees apart. This time just sit back into that child's pose, reach the arms out just to get a bit of a stretch through those hips. Reach those fingertips away, and then we're going to stretch through the arms as well. So if you bring the left arm out to the side, reach those fingertips away, keep the hand on the floor and just look up in the opposite direction to get that stretch across the arm into the chest. Hold it there. And switch over, same on the other side, reach the right arm away, creep those fingertips away and look up in the opposite direction. Relax it there, and then bringing it on to the knees. If we bring the left foot forward, tilting those hips forward to get that stretch through the hip into the quad. If you need to kneel on a cushion or a towel at all just to make it more comfortable, then please do. And bring those arms up towards the ceiling, look up towards the hands to really stretch through that whole body. And bring the arms back down, change it over, bring that right foot forward, tilting those hips, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. And bringing the hands back down again. Bringing both hands down to the floor, tucking those toes under, pushing the heels down into that downward dog. Remember, if you need to bend the knees slightly to help keep that back flat, then you can. And just gently bending the knee just to get that stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. Keeping that chin tucked into the chest. Good. And then just slowly walk those hands in towards the feet. Keep that chin tucked into the chest, so just hanging down in that position. Allow the head and the shoulders to be heavy. Just sway from left to right. And then slowly rolling it back up to the top. Keep it nice and slow, so the head should be the last thing to come up at the top, and just round those shoulders back. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, bring the arms up towards the ceiling and exhale, let the arms drop. And again. Last one. And bring the arms up, then bring them down to the sides. Nice deep breath in, bring the shoulders up to the ears. And exhale, drop them down. Last one. And relax there, good. Well done guys, I hope you enjoyed that nice gentle session. It's always good to have a good 30 minutes of just stretching out and mobilising. Like I said earlier, with all the training that we're doing, or if we're working from home and we're sitting at laptops a lot, then we might find, especially through the hips, that we're quite tight through there. So it's really good to work through those kind of exercises, and you can work through those on a daily basis. There's no limit to stretching and mobility as long as you're working within your own range. So try not to force the movements too much. You still want to keep them nice and controlled, just to keep them comfortable for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Next week is our final session, so we're going to be working through a full 30-minute full body Pilates session. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.